some cases, they change you, not because of the verdict, but because of the truth you uncover along the way. In the hushed, wood-paneled halls of Porter and Haynes, family law firm, whispers were currency. Henry Ellison, a seasoned divorce attorney known for his unshakable calm and razor intellect, thought he'd seen every variation of love gone wrong. But nothing prepared him for the Colburn case. Eleanor Colburn was a high-profile philanthropist in her late 40s, married to Nathaniel Colburn, a powerful real estate tycoon with a temper as notorious as his wealth. She sat across from Henry in a tailored navy suit, her face the picture of composure. Her voice was steady, rehearsed, but her eyes betrayed something deeper. Fear, perhaps, or the burden of secrets long kept. "I want a quiet divorce," she began. "Clean, no public scandal, no drawn-out battles. I just want my life back." Henry nodded, clicking his pen. "That can be arranged, but with a man like Nathaniel, that depends on what you're protecting." Eleanor hesitated, then slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside was a private investigator's report, photographs, financial records, and something else, an old birth certificate, one that didn't belong to Eleanor or Nathaniel. Henry's eyes scanned the name. Daniel Jameson. Mother, Eleanor Colburn. Father, unknown. "You had a son?" he asked quietly. "I gave him up when I was 18, Eleanor said, her voice cracking. "Nathaniel never knew." Henry leaned back, the weight of the situation settling in. "He can use this against you." "That's not the worst of it," she whispered. "Daniel isn't just my son. He's Nathaniel's nephew. His brother is the father. Nathaniel raised that man like a son after their parents died. If this gets out..." Henry felt the ground shift beneath them. Family secrets had a way of bleeding into everything. And now he was holding a scalpel. The Colburn divorce became a labyrinth. Nathaniel, ever suspicious, hired his own attorney, aggressive, unrelenting, and determined to dig into Eleanor's financial past. Henry played it cool, presenting a modest settlement offer and citing irreconcilable differences. Nathaniel refused. "He thinks she's hiding something," his lawyer said in court. "And he's right." Henry knew they had to move fast. The birth certificate was a ticking time bomb. Worse, Daniel had resurfaced. Now 29 and working in Boston as a digital archivist. He had recently sent Eleanor a letter. "I don't want money," it read. "I just want to know why." Henry arranged a quiet meeting. When he met Daniel, the resemblance to both Eleanor and Nathaniel's family was undeniable. Same sharp jawline, same stormy eyes. "I'm just trying to understand where I come from," Daniel said, clutching the letter Eleanor had written back. Henry warned him, "If you pursue this now, your existence becomes a weapon. Are you ready for that?" Daniel nodded slowly. "I just want the truth, even if it hurts." Nathaniel's brother, Michael Colburn, had died in a car accident 2 decades prior. His name was never linked to Eleanor publicly, but their affair had been brief, reckless, and now its product threatened to destroy what remained of the Colburn dynasty. When Nathaniel discovered a suspicious financial transfer, Eleanor sending monthly checks to a P.O. box in Boston, he exploded. "Who the hell are you paying?" he demanded. Henry stepped in. "You're spiraling. If you want to make this ugly, we'll go there." But Eleanor is willing to walk away quietly, with less than she deserves. "You think I care about the money?" Nathaniel spat. She betrayed me. Henry met his fury with steel. You want betrayal? Look at your brother. Look at what she sacrificed to protect your family's name. Nathaniel froze. What did you say? Too late, Henry realized the line he had crossed. But it had the intended effect. Daniel sat back, breathing heavily as the door clicked shut behind Eleanor. Her final words echoed in his mind, like a courtroom gavel. It's not about the marriage. It's about what's been buried. The following week brought rain, a slow, persistent drizzle that mirrored the unease in Daniel's chest. He returned to his office, not with a fresh stack of divorce files, but with a file folder containing decades-old birth certificates, hospital records, and newspaper clippings. The trail Eleanor had left him was subtle but unmistakable. A second child listed on a birth registry, a hospital discharge noting only one infant. The other, it seemed, had disappeared without a trace. It wasn't uncommon for families to hide miscarriages or infant deaths. But this wasn't that. This was a birth, a name, and a date, scrubbed from the family story as if it never happened. He picked up the phone. Janice, can you find me records from Westbridge Memorial? Specifically 1986 pediatric admissions. She hesitated. That'll take time, Daniel. I have it. Janice, loyal and sharp-eyed, returned the next day with a thin manila envelope. Inside were documents that made Daniel's stomach twist. Nathaniel Cross hadn't just hidden a child. He had taken someone else's. Daniel met Eleanor again, this time in a neutral cafe near the river. She arrived wearing dark sunglasses, not for the sun but to hide her panic. You found it, didn't you? He nodded slowly. There was a birth, then a disappearance. But a second birth certificate appeared months later. Different mother, different city, same child. My brother, she whispered. I was 5 when it happened. They told me he died, but he didn't. I remember his cry. Daniel's voice was low. Your father used his influence to falsify records, but the real mother, she kept searching. Eleanor's hands trembled as she pushed a worn envelope across the table. Inside were letters, all addressed to Nathaniel, all returned unopened. He paid her off eventually, she said bitterly. Threatened her family, her job. She left town, but she never stopped writing. Daniel stood on the marble steps of the Cross family estate, invitation in hand. Nathaniel Cross was hosting his annual legal philanthropy gala, a who's who of elite lawyers, judges, and corporate titans. Tonight, Daniel wasn't here to network. He was here to detonate a truth bomb. The ballroom shimmered with gold and arrogance. Daniel found Nathaniel near the bar, a cigar in hand, his voice loud and jovial. Their eyes met. Daniel, didn't expect to see you here. You invited me. Nathaniel chuckled. Politeness, I suppose. Daniel held up a leather folder. I know what you did in 1986, and so will everyone here, unless you step down from every board, drop Eleanor's divorce proceedings, and publicly admit to fraud. Nathaniel's face froze. He wouldn't. I've already filed preliminary documents to the Bar Association. The rest goes public in the morning. Nathaniel's smile cracked. You think this will help her? You'll drag our family name through mud. Daniel stepped closer. You already did that. I'm just turning on the lights. The next day, Henry received a private message from Nathaniel's lawyer. A settlement had been agreed upon. Generous. Silent. No media. No court hearings. But Henry knew it wasn't over. 2 months later, Eleanor received an unmarked envelope. Inside was a photograph. Young Michael Colburn, arm wrapped around a smiling Eleanor, both of them carefree. And standing beside them, barely visible, Nathaniel. On the back of the photo, in block letters, I always knew. Eleanor called Henry that night, her voice shaking. He's letting me go, but not because he forgives me, because he wants me to live with it. Henry said nothing. Some battles were won, not in court, but in silence. Daniel chose not to pursue a relationship with Nathaniel, but he did meet his cousins, quietly, in a park in Cambridge. The children of a man who once could have been his father, had fate twisted differently. I'm not here to blow anything up, Daniel said, just to know that I exist. And with that, the last of the Colburn secrets settled like dust on a forgotten photograph. Henry closed the case file months later. He kept the birth certificate in a drawer, not out of legal necessity, but as a reminder. Not every divorce ends in ruin, but every marriage, every family, has a truth buried beneath it. And sometimes it's the lawyer who must dig it out. Truth, Daniel realized, wasn't always a weapon. Sometimes it was a scalpel. Painful, precise, and ultimately healing.